Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Hope you guys are enjoying your October and watching plenty of horror films and whatnot. And I'm glad you can join me for a new video of the part of my October horror film spotlight month. Alright, what I got in store for you today is actually the film Sinister, starring Ethan Hawke. Now this film came out in 2012. It's one of the paranormal horror films that I have in my collection. I don't really have too many of these. I mean, I have a few, but this one actually is one of my favorites out of the ones that I have that are part of my collection. And the basic synopsis premise of this film is Ethan Hawke is a novel writer. I believe he was famous for writing. I believe it's not crime dramas, but he's more of like he writes novels that deal with actual people that were killed, and I believe their murders were left unsolved. So he's famous for writing a book prior to that. So he's kind of like trying to develop a new work for a new novel that he's trying to write. And he's trying to write, I believe it's based on an actual murder that took place in this house, and he feels that the best way in order to be able to write this book is by actually living in the house. So what he does is that he takes his entire family, his wife, and I believe he's got 2 kids, either 2 or 3 kids. I can't remember. It was a while since I've seen this movie. I may have to watch it again. But he takes his entire family over to this house, and they start, experiencing strange things. But the weirdest thing that, is kind of like what the entire movie kind of revolves around is that Ethan Hawke's character goes up into, the attic, and he finds a box up there. The entire attic, I believe, is completely empty, but he finds this one box up there, and there are a bunch like of old 8mm projection film canisters up there. So he takes it downstairs, he starts watching the films, and he starts watching these grisly murders happening. I believe it's the previous people that lived in the house. He starts watching their deaths as they're happening, being recorded, and he begins to notice that with each one of the movies that he sees of these horrific deaths, he notices that there's a strange, like, demonic figure in the background that's kind of like lurking behind everything. And one of the other creepy elements of the film is that you always see a young child in it that's about ready to commit the horrific grisly killing of a parent, because it's basically, if I remember, it's basically the each of the films show the kids killing the parents. And he later kind of connects 2 and 2 together and realizes that it's a demonic creature that's kind of like possessing the children to kill the parents or to kill the adults. So and he begins to notice that strange things are happening in the house, and his family is beginning to kind of like fall under the weird type of spells and stuff like that, because the kids start acting kind of strange. I mean, there are a couple of jump scares here and there, but there's a lot of things that happen that lead ultimately into the end. And this is pretty much all I'm gonna say in terms of the premise, because honestly you should watch it in order to be able to understand the entire thing of what's going on in this film, because there are a lot of great visuals, and it's really creepy, really leaves you really tense. A lot of good decent camera work and stuff like that, and the lighting in here to kind of create that dark, ominous, creepy feel of the house that they're staying in. And for the most part, I mean, this is probably one of the very few films, besides Children of the Corn, that I was really creeped out by the kids, especially when later on, especially towards the climax of the film, what really begins to unravel, after he's pretty much connected everything, and he realizes what the demon is and how it works and what it does, and what happens to the children that fall victim to its possession and whatnot. So it's really good, really fantastic, really great. Ethan Hawke, I mean, I can't say much other than he did a really great job portraying the character that he does in this particular film. Again, creepiness all the way. The kids were creepy towards the end. All the stuff that was happening there. I mean, there was so much in here that I have to say that out of most of the paranormal type of horror films that I've seen, with the exception, of course, of Paranormal Activity, was the first one I thought was really good too. But this one kind of ranks up there as well as being really good in terms of really creeping you out, and providing a really nice atmosphere to kind of just make you even feel that much more creeped out by the things that kind of happen in the film. So absolutely, I mean, I would say that this is another one that you should definitely have in your collection, unless you already have it, because it's always worth a look. And around, you know, October, and especially nearing Halloween, it's always something that's really fitting to put as part of your viewing list of films to watch during the month of October, you know, to creep yourself out with. So absolutely, guys, I say definitely check out Sinister if you haven't already done so. You should definitely add it to your collection as well. I mean, I really don't know what much else to say about this film other than what I have already said. So once again, guys, Sinister, definitely something to have in there. So again, guys, thank you for joining me for this new video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me comments, tell me what you think about what I had to say. Leave me your own comments, tell me what you think about the film too, and any other recommendations that you suggest for that are part of the paranormal, you know, horror films genre. All right, guys. So until the next one, stay safe, keep watching films, and I'll catch you next time. All right.